You're listening to the Unlocking Women in Leadership podcast, a conversation with yours truly, Slindile. Well, hey there, friend. It's Slindile here, South African-born author, coach, and brand strategist, as well as your host of the Unlocking Women in Leadership podcast, where we celebrate your unique leadership calling and commitment to transform your life. In today's episode, we're talking about the 5 secrets to becoming an author. I was thinking about all of the shows that I've had that have articulated the fact that I'm an author and I've written my books, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to have a show where I give you some tips on how to become an author, especially those of you who know that it is way overdue and that you know that it is time. No more excuses. This is your time to be releasing your book. This is your time to share your message with the world. I say that because I know that book writing is not just about the writing process. It's more about literally who you become in the process of writing. And you will literally blow yourself away at what you can achieve. And so today I wanted to talk to you about the 5 secrets to becoming an author, especially if you are a speaker, an aspiring author, a subject matter expert who knows that there's a message inside of you that has to come out, who knows that you have to do something different about your life. You have to elevate your business, perhaps even add another passive income in the form of books. This show is for you. I have 5 secrets here. Of course, there are a lot more, but this is for all of you who are just wanting to know where to start. Number 1 that I have for you is make the announcement. I know that sounds super simple, but something happens. There's an agreement that happens when you agree and you tell the universe that you are writing a book this year. So make the announcement. Make the announcement to your family, to your coworkers, to your subscribers, on your social media page. Just announce it to the world that you are the author of an upcoming book. By announcing it, it doesn't mean necessarily you know what you're going to write about. It also doesn't mean that you know your topic or that you even know who you're writing to. You are just taking a step of faith by articulating the fact that you are going to write a book this year. And in doing so, you are planting you're planting those words in your mind, in your subconscious mind, so that you can start thinking about the reality of what it looks like to become the author. So that's number 1, make the announcement. The second secret that I really believe every aspiring author needs to start getting used to is make the adjustment in your calendar for your upcoming book. I know that a lot of us are usually, in our businesses or professionals or full-time at something, and that we don't necessarily have the space to write this book or to fulfill this dream that we have been wanting to write. And so you've got to make the adjustment in your calendar, set time aside, and commit to writing. So set time aside in your calendar that says you will write in the mornings, perhaps from 8 to 9 every single day or twice a week, or in the evenings at a certain time. But it's got to be in your calendar, because if it's not in your calendar, it's not going to happen. And if you're an individual who says, well, I don't use the calendar, there's something about what I said earlier. There's something about making the announcement, and then there's something about seeing it in your calendar, writing it down. So make the adjustment in your calendar and make space to write. For some of you, you've got to create boundaries. You are so overwhelmed and you're the kind of person that says yes to everything. For some of you, the boundaries will help you prioritize and focus on getting your book project written and completed. It's one thing to start the book, but it's a whole nother thing to complete the book. I've written 4 books, and every single one of them was different in that it pulled a different element out of my identity. But I love writing, and I've always wanted to be an author. And so you've got to set boundaries and articulate and communicate to people around you that you are going to write a book this year. Communicate the fact that you've already put it in your calendar and you're committed to writing and finishing. And communicate the fact that this process of writing is going to require you to ease off of certain responsibilities so you could focus on writing the book. If you want to become an author, you've got to write. You've got to sit. You've got to find space, time, and clear your mind so you can be filled with exactly what you need for the writing process. The third thing that I'd like you to consider is focus on becoming the author and not on the obstacles which will prevent you from pursuing your dream of writing the book. I know when we are, getting into the writing process, we get overwhelmed, especially if you've never done it, because we think about everything that could limit us from writing our books, the excuses, the time, the commitments, the responsibilities, the workload, our kids, our families. We don't think about what would happen when we don't fulfill this dream. So the third secret is to focus on becoming the author and not focus on the obstacles which will prevent you from pursuing your dream to write your book. Write down what's on your plate, what capacity do you have, what emotional capacity you have, as an entrepreneur and as an individual that's involved with multiple things. Your capacity can get drained really quickly if you don't monitor it. And so focusing on the outcome, as in becoming the author, will pull you into writing your book, and it should ignite you with enthusiasm, energy, and passion because you are deciding to step into your calling as an author and as a writer. As you focus on the outcome, this will also give you an idea of exactly what you need to let go of in order to create the space and the time to write this project. Remember, this is a book project. You've got to treat it that way. And because it's a project, you've got to manage it in a project way. And so that just means that you've got to monitor certain elements that you're writing either on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, but you've got to commit to being consistent in delivering the project. The fourth thing I'd like you to consider is choose one main idea or topic to write about. So I said earlier that I am an author of 4 books and all of my books are different. This particular fourth one is the topic that I teach on when I'm actually consulting on leadership and strategic development. But it wasn't a topic that I thought, I should write about because it just came naturally to me. It's what my business is about. I wrote on other things, and it turns out that this is the one topic that I can write about and talk about all day long because I just love it. So think about one main idea or main topic to write about. It could be that one thing that you just take for granted, that it's easy for you to do, or it could even be that you're the go-to person for a specific thing and people ask you the same questions in relation to this particular topic. this will be the topic that you want to write about because it will transform your ideal reader. All right. And so when you're going into thinking about what am I going to write about, I know that we all have tons of ideas, and especially for those of us who are creatives, and you think that you need to write your entire experience and knowledge. That's one of the mistakes that aspiring authors make, is thinking that I have to write everything in my book. But if you just think of one idea or one topic that you're going to write about that will actually transform someone's life, you're on the right track. It will take away the overwhelm. It will take away, just trying to figure out where to start. And it will kind of ease you into already operating in what you are good at. The fifth thing I want you to consider, which is the secret too, is to be accountable to yourself. We can declare all day long and say we're going to write a book, and we can write in our calendars, and just do that thing because someone said write in your calendar, or an author said write in your calendar. But until you are accountable for your thoughts, you're accountable to yourself, and you govern your time and treat your book as the thing that will take you to your next level, this won't happen. Remember, this is not just about your passion or a passion project. This is literally you stepping into your destiny and allowing yourself to explore opportunities that will come because of you becoming an author. And so being accountable and treating this project as a priority will help you get started with your book, and it will help you write it and complete it. So remember, if you're wanting to treat the book as a passion project, that's fine. That's totally up to you. But from where I'm sitting and understanding that as a Black female author, South African author, having seen a lot of broke authors, we're tired of being broke as authors. And what gets us out of being broke is literally marketing our books and going out there and putting ourselves out there in ways that would add income. And writing your book is a form of additional income. And this could come in the form of your speech. It could come in the form of you selling your books. It could come in the form of you getting speaking engagements. It could come in the form of you creating courses out of your book. And so if you treat your book as a business, you're going to go very, very far. All right. And I hope these 5 will help you, because I know that there's more, and every author will be different, because remember, you're creative, and whatever it is that you have been given to write, it's going to come out of who you are, your knowledge, your expertise, your experience, your desires, your struggles, your learnings, your lessons, everything about your life. But you've got to decide how you're going to approach your book, who you're going to become in the process, and how much you're willing to grow and stretch yourself as you pursue your book. Remember, the book is not just about writing, it's about the person you become in the writing process. That's more powerful in my view. I hope that was super helpful. I posted on my social media pages about the coaching program that we have, the Author Brand Accelerator, but I wanted to talk about it a lot more because the experts that I come across, some are speakers and they're happily going along speaking, but they are not giving their audience enough for them to work with them. I remember this when I was in California, and I enjoyed speaking, all the speaking gigs that I had. But every time I came back from those speaking gigs, I was always asked a question, and that was, how can we access the information that you've just given us? How can we work with you better? And that was when I got the realization that I wasn't leaving people in a good place if I was just delivering all this value, but they didn't have an avenue or an additional product for them to take it with them and work with it. So I do hope that you get inspired by this and that you get writing. Do check out my upcoming program. It's called the Author Brand Accelerator. You can go onto my website or directly to www.coaching.slindilebeloy.com to apply for the program. I do want you to apply if you know you are done with excuses. If you know that this is time for you to be writing your book, if you know that you're done with putting it out and postponing it and letting it roll over and over, especially if you know that you're supposed to be launching and doing something new and stepping into becoming your greatest version. I hope to see your application and so we can figure out how to get your book started. Thanks for listening. Until next time, friend. Bye for now.